Als je me moet helpen, moet je gewoon even zwaaien.
Ganse, jij bent
Dat
ondersteboven.
ik mijn koptelefoon op.
Yeah, I'm recording it now, so maybe someone else can record it too, because I'm like now.
It's being recorded.
Huh?
It's being recorded. We just started it.
Yeah, me too. So slide. I don't know what I'm closing now. Okay.
Look at Jenny smiling, always smiling. Yeah.
Ik ga met de Ranza meedoen.
Claudia heeft haar dingen nog niet aanstaan.
Alles op de kop.
Claudia, zet je webcam aan.
Mijn webcam staat aan.
Hoort je? Slechter.
Hey Jenny.
Doe gewoon het licht aan. Doe het licht aan.
Kunnen je niet zien?
Goed, ik sta aan te zien.
Kijk, steeds meer, steeds meer.
Hallo!
Okay, even kijken. Patrick, did you check on the app how many are going to join tonight?
Yes, I'm here.
Hold on, let me check Player Plus to see how many we are expecting.
Het says
Hey,
14.
14.
Ja.
That's 12 players. Let's see.
Ja, 5:30, ja, dat is goed.
1, 2,
Ja, oké.
5,
Ja.
9.
Hey, can y'all hear?
Rashmi and Sarah signed off. So I think we got pretty much the most of them all. It's under in my.
Yeah.
All right, let's just get started, shall we?
Did I join already? Oh yeah, I wasn't sure.
Hey! Look.
No, I don't know
It's
how.
best to mute everybody except for the coaches. Alrighty.
And then later on, if you have questions, there is a raise your hand button there. So it's just like in school, you know, you raise your hand and then we can decide whether we want to answer your questions, yes or no.
Where's the button? No, I don't know how shit works.
Yeah, but you're a coach. You don't have to raise your hand.
Yeah, that's true.
Just yell, shut up, Patrick, and then we'll listen. All right. The questions you were asking was mainly about the positions, explaining some of the positions or all of the positions and what we're looking for in those positions. Hold on, I got an app here on the Valkyries. Noel and Sharita, because they're on holiday, they're not coming, and we are recording. All right. So back to where we were. Positions, right. I wrote down the positions. I'm just gonna go down the list with you all. Describing the position, what's expected in that position, and what kind of personnel we envision in that position. Hold on, as I see who's all present. Patrick, your Dutch is fine, isn't it?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so we might as well speak in Dutch, I think, because we're all
Yeah,
Dutch
yeah,
here.
yeah, because Razmi is not on here tonight.
No,
so we can
exactly.
just speak Dutch.
So, oké, dan gaan we gewoon in het Nederlands verder. Is iets makkelijker. Although, no, because we're recording it and then she can look it back. So, never mind. All right, positions. Of course, there is the quarterback. Most important position on the offense. Quarterback is in Dutch, there's the word spelverdeler. He's the leader in the offense. She's the leader in the offense. She's in contact with the coach. She will get the plays, the play calling, and a good quarterback is even able to decide on the field to change the play if necessary. So a quarterback needs to have a lot of football smart. He has to know all the plays. He has to know all the positions, all the responsibilities of all the players on the offense. So he has to know all the routes of the receivers. He has to know where the running back is going to. He needs to know where the linemen line up for and line up to. So it's a huge responsibility. There's a lot of learning as a receiver, which we will get to later. A receiver just has to learn his position, the routes in the playbook on his position. But a quarterback has to know all the routes. He has to know all the receivers' positions, especially because the receivers, he has to throw the ball to them. So he has to know where they will end up in the play. To make it harder even, a quarterback also has to be able to recognize defenses.
Yeah.
It's not the most important part, but if you recognize a defense, if you recognize it's going to be a man defense or a zone defense, then it will make life a lot easier for him, and the hits on his players will also be easier. Because if he sends them into the gunfire, they will get killed there. And he can avoid that by adjusting the play. If he recognizes it's man-to-man, he can change the play and look for the holes, look for the, you know what I mean, hopefully.
Yeah, good.
If you get any questions while I'm talking, just push that button in the top screen there, the hand, raise your hand. Or just raise your hand on screen, so we'll answer the questions. That's basically quarterback. What do we expect from a quarterback? Football smarts, of course. You have to know the game. And don't worry, no one of you knows the game right now. So everybody basically is eligible for a quarterback because you're learning. And I'm doing this now for 30 years. And I'm still learning. So football is such a difficult game. It's an ongoing process. You keep going. You keep learning. So whatever you don't know, don't worry about it. You will get to know it. You can always ask questions, and then you will get to learn it and forget it again and learn it again and forget it again. So don't worry about it. Quarterback, yeah, so football smarts. You have to see what's going. You have to be a leader type, because in football, you always have the talkers. You have the loudmouth. You have the egos. And as a quarterback, you have to be above that. And you have to be able to tell one of your players to shut the hell up because you're explaining a play to them. And they have to listen to you. They have to respect you. So a leader type for a quarterback is important. A good arm for throwing the ball. Yeah, it's
Speed
important,
and
but
agility as well.
it's not the most important. If you cannot throw the ball 50 yards, who cares? If you can throw it 10 or 20 yards, that's fine too. As long as you're a leader and you can lead your squad on the field and you got a good running back, and occasionally you can send a pass out to confuse an offense, if you can confuse a defense, perfect. What kind of type do we need for a quarterback? Doesn't really matter. Look at the NFL. Like if you look at Ben Roethlisberger, that guy, I think a 60-year-old genetic could outrun the guy because he is not fast. He's a big, huge guy that's not really fast, but he's a strong man. He's a leader, and he can scramble for 10 yards, which is enough for a quarterback. A quarterback is not supposed to run. He has to stand in there, hand off the ball to his running back, or pass the ball to his receivers. So if you're small, it's a bit harder because you have to be able, of course, to look over the heads of your offensive linemen in front of you. So if you're too small, it's going to be really hard to play a quarterback. But that's pretty much the only minus for a quarterback. Yeah, if you're too small, you cannot look over your offensive line. Otherwise, pretty much everyone can be a quarterback. Of course, you have to be able to scramble. You know, if a 200-pound lineman or linebacker is coming after you and you cannot run away from him because you're too big and too slow, you're going to get nailed. You're going to get killed. Otherwise, on the other hand, if you're big enough, you might kill him or her. So again, size does not really matter for a quarterback. It's what you can do. It's your smarts. Are you willing to put in the work for it? Are you willing to learn the playbooks? Are you willing to lead your team by example? That's pretty much for a quarterback. Then the next person in the backfield is, of course, a running back. And basically, you have two kinds of running backs. You have the fullback and you have the halfback. The fullback is very often the lead blocker. He's in front of the halfback and he's clearing away. So it's a strong, big person, the fullback. And then the halfback, that's usually the guy or the girl that gets the ball and is fast on the feet, is agile, can move around really fast. All the horrible drills I already did with you with the jumps and everything, that's running back drills. You have to be quick on your feet, be able to turn, to spin, to twist, willing to take a hit because you're gonna get tackled. That's running backs for. But basically, size does not really matter for a running back. Again, size does not. It will help you if you're strongly built. You got strong legs. You got a big body. That will help you carry that ball through an offensive line. It's hard for them to take you down, and you can take 4 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards. And if you, as a running back, can take 3 or 4 yards every play, you got 4 downs. So do the math. First down every time. The small running backs are fast. If they're lucky, they can outrun a defensive lineman. They can outrun a linebacker, especially with the help of a good blocker. And they can go for the big yardage. But like I said, 4 times 4 yards is also a first down. 3 times 4 yards is also a first down. So that's good enough. So running backs, what do you need for a running back is the willingness to take the punishment, because as a running back, you get punished a lot. You know, all those linebackers, all those linemen, they're just aiming for you. They want to get you to the ground as hard as they can. At least that was my mindset as a linebacker. That's already given away what a linebacker has to be, but your mindset as a linebacker, as a defender, is to hurt the running backs. They're your, you know, as the superheroes, your nemesis. That's basically it. Running backs also need to think on their feet. It's like you get the play and you have to go through the number 2 hole. But if the number 2 hole gets blocked, then oh shit. And then you have to start thinking, and then you have to start looking around and decide where you want to go. So fast thinking, fast moving, quick feet. That's pretty much what we're looking for in a running back. And again, size does not really matter. It's the way you move. Basically for a running back. Anything else to add there, Patrick?
No, just like you said, you know, size doesn't matter. It's just about how you're able to move that weight and, you know, what you're able to do with it. If you can get from point A to point B, even if it's 5 to 10 yards, but you're able to move it in quick succession, you know, you just power step, you create distance and width, and you're able to, whether you're offense or defense, you know, on offense, then you want to try to create that distance from the defender, so you know you can make sure everyone gets out to the routes and where they need to be. But you know, you can be just about any size. You just have to be able to move your weight, use power, control, be able to, you know, make quick turns, like Coach said, quick thinking, think on, you know, just think on your feet, and you know, that's just basically how the ball game is played.
Yeah, and don't worry about it's hard. Yeah, it's hard, but that's for every position. Every position in football is hard. You already discovered the drills we're doing for you, the positions you have to be in. It's unnatural. Yeah, like a football stand. That's not something you do when you're waiting in line at the register at the supermarket. You know, it's unnatural. It's not something you do. So, and is it hard? Yeah, but that's what we're for. We're there to teach you the stuff and give you the skill set, and you work with that. I used to train linebackers. I used to coach linebackers and running backs in the previous teams, and I gave them different skill sets. And I didn't tell them, I want you to use this skill set. It's up to them how they use the skill sets. And that's how I coach. It's like I teach you different ways to do something. Also later on with the tackling, I will teach you 2 different types of tackling. To you, what kind is more comfortable or practical for you? And that goes with most of the drills we teach you. We give you a tool set, and whatever tool you want to pick, that's fine. If you want to use the sledgehammer, use the sledgehammer if that works for you. If you want to use the little fine detailed hammer, excellent. If you think you can reach your destination with that little hammer, use that little hammer. It's up to you. We just give the hammers to you, and then you work with them. So that's quarterback, and that's running back. Then the next skill position on offense is the receivers. Receivers is easy. There we're gonna narrow the scope, because that's not for every person, every build. Receivers need to be fast and good hand-eye coordination. And yeah, basically you need to be fast. And of course, like I said, the hand-eye coordination. If you're fast but you don't catch a ball, then we cannot use you as a receiver, because that's not what we're looking for. We want to get that ball in the end zone. And every time you punch away the balls, then you're better as a cornerback on defense than you are as a receiver. As a receiver, you want to catch the ball, hold the ball. So if you're tall, that's even an extra good help.
Have the extra reach.
Exactly, have the extra reach. Like I said, fast, but even that is not even that important. I've seen tight ends here in Holland, in Europe, and also in the NFL and in college. Like especially the tight ends are usually also linemen, so they're not that fast, but they're strong and they work on their speed. You know, they're still fast enough, but they're strong and big, and they can stand their ground and be able to catch that ball and hold on to that ball before they're brought down. And even with the cornerback hanging in their necks, they're still able to take 5 yards. And that's good. Your perseverance, your ability, and your will to keep going, even if there's 2 or 3 girls hanging around your neck trying to drag you down. If their coach didn't teach them to tackle you and they're high up, you're still able to make yards. And that's a mindset. That's, you got that or you don't, but it's not really that important. Of course, it's important to make yards, but if you prefer to go down after the first hit, as long as you catch that ball, as long as you have that ball, that's fine, because we still make progress. If after the catch you're able to make extra yards, even better.
That's even better.
But it's not that important, but you have to be able to at least outrun a linebacker. So that's the skill for a wide receiver. Hand-eye coordination as most important, be able to catch that ball, willing to go for that ball. Pretty much the most important part for a wide receiver. Patrick, anything to add for that?
Yeah, it's basically, you know, if you're gonna play a wide receiver, you know, like you said, you gotta be fast, but at the same time have good hand-eye coordination and be willing to take a hit, because that's the thing about football. It's a violent sport, so you have to be willing to take a hit, but also be willing to make a hit, you know, so it has to come from both sides, you know, cause and effect. So you just have to be willing to go both ways, knowing, you know, you're going to have to take a hit. You may have to make a hit while you're trying to catch that ball, you know, make some yards, even if it's 2 to 5 yards, you know, that's still yardage. You're still getting closer towards that goal, towards the end zone. So, you know, that's just my little 2 cents on that.
Excellent. My eye keeps drawn to the left-hand corner there where Spider-Woman around size stuck to the ceiling there. It's like, but never mind. Back to the positions. Linewomen. Basically, for linewomen, it helps if you're big, powerful, strong. So it's not for the real small players.
No, because you're gonna get pancaked.
Exactly.
For line women, you just need the big, strong women that you know, like, hey, if it's 3 of y'all lined side by side, y'all are basically gonna form the wall, just the barrier. Y'all just gonna pancake these other girls down, and you know, just hold the front lines basically.
Yeah, it's like if you're offensive lineman, it's your job to protect your quarterback or create a hole where your running back can run through. And so you need to be powerful enough to do that on the defense. But then again, the line on the defense has the job to break through that offensive wall to get to the quarterback. So they have the same essentials. They need to be powerful, big, and strong too. An extra, let's mix offense, defense here on the line to make it easier or harder, or I don't know yet, you tell me. But on defensive line, it would also be a benefit to be fast, so you can go around the outsides of an offensive line to outrun them.
Yeah.
We already had some skills with you girls, like the step we did the last practice. Yeah, the quick step, the kick step. I mean, you saw how hard it was to get around me when I was doing the kick step on you girls. You know, it's hard. If you do a kick step good as an offensive lineman, you don't have to be fast. If your technique is good, you beat every defensive player. So that's what we will be working on. And if you're small, someone that prefers practicing with that dog, for instance, someone, I don't know, I can't think of a name here right now, but sorry, Kim. But like, if you're not that big, but you say like, but I really like a LINEWOMEN, that I would like to do that. Don't let it stop you. You know, I've played with linemen in Holland here in the past who were amazing linemen, and they were smaller than me, and still they would beat the shit out of me. If I came in as a linebacker, I was afraid to try to penetrate them because they were good and their technique was so powerful. They would still beat me. So again, size does not really matter, but size does help on a lineman or a linewoman. Big, powerful, best abilities for defensive linewoman. And I'm not splitting positions here because there's not that many linewomen in 7-on-7 in the Queen's Football League. It's like you have the center and guard tackle. That's pretty much a mix-up. The guard is in regular 11 football. You have the center. That's the guy in the middle that hands the ball over to the quarterback. And then next to the center, you have the guards. And the name already says it. The guards, they protect the quarterback. They're the best linemen on the offensive squad. And they're right next to the center. The shortest route to the quarterback is for the protection of the two best offensive linemen there. So that's the guards. And then next to the guards, you have the tackles, the offensive tackles. And they protect the outside route to the quarterback. And then the last offensive lineman in 11 is the tight end. And the tight end is an eligible player. He's also allowed to go out to catch a pass.
So he can block and receive passes.
Exactly. So that's also what we can start playing with later on. We will have a center. We will have the two guards or tackle, however you want to name them, because that's the end of the line. It's also the start of the line, interior line. And now we can work with a tight end there. So we can do that. And then on defense, usually you have a nose guard, that's the guy in the middle, and two ends, that's on a 3-man line. Or you have a 4-man line, and that's 2 tackles and 2 defensive ends. And the 2 tackles close up the inside runs, and the ends, the defensive ends on the outside, they close off the outside runs, and they rush the QB in a pass situation. So that's pretty much the jobs on the line. Then we slowly moved to the defense. On defense, you have then the second line of defense is the linebacker. And the linebacker is a breed of their own. They're kind of crazy. They're kind of aggressive. You have to be extremely intelligent because the linebackers are the leaders in the squad, in the defensive squad. They have to be able to recognize an offense as soon as they line up. As soon as an offense lines up, you pretty much already need to have an idea of what the offense is going to do. That's very hard. And don't worry, you won't be able to do that yet, but that's something you learn through experience. Then as a linebacker, it's your job, your primary responsibility is to stop the run. Whoever will get the ball, whoever will start running with the ball, whether it's the quarterback or a running back, they're your targets. That's your kill zone. But then again, if it's a pass, that is also your responsibility. So you have to be able to step up and be fast enough to drop back into a pass coverage the moment you see it's not a run, but they tricked you and it's a pass. So you have to be able to switch and to be reading that in a fraction of a second, because that's how long an offensive play lasts. An offensive play is 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and then it should be over. If it's not over by then, you're screwed as a defense, because that means they're running down that end zone, and if the clock is still going, that means you're losing. So an offensive play, if defense is working, and even if offense is working too, it's about 2-3 seconds. And that's a short period of time. If you have to read everything from that moment on, you have to read an offensive lineman. How is he blocking? How do I react to that? Do I step forward to stop the run, or do I drop back into a pass coverage? So a linebacker is big, strong, and still fast, because you have to be able to at least run with the tight end or one of the slower receivers. Your 10-yard dash has to be fast. My coach always told me when I was earlier, I had to be fast, 10 yards every direction. That was my area of coverage. That was my zone, 10 yards in every direction. And beyond that, then there would have been a screw up anyway, and then it was already a lost case. If a linebacker has to run more than 10 yards, you're already screwed.
Yeah, because you need that explosiveness. That's why you need, like the short, quick bursts from those 10 yards. You just need to have explosive movement that, so that whenever you come across your opponent, you're able to get to them within those first 3 steps. And that's why we'll get to that later too. We'll be implementing that.
Yeah. And again, I already talked to you girls on practice about this sometimes. The initial hit has to be like hard, explosive, pretty much on every position, but especially on the linebacker, because I discussed the lead blockers for running backs before. If you hassle too long with a lead blocker, the running back is gone. So your initial hit on a lead blocker has to be hard and fast to get rid of him and make the tackle. So again, a linebacker, the size I'm in, and I'm not huge. I'm not Arnold Schwarzenegger or whatever. I still played linebacker. So you can do that. Also, again, every body build can be a linebacker. But again, it helps if you're quick on your feet. That will help you a lot. And your mindset. You have to be aggressive. And I don't mean aggressive right now if you go to the supermarket and someone's cutting your line that you punch them in the face. No, not that kind of aggressive. I mean controlled aggressive. Yeah, the moment you step on that field, everything with a different color shirt jersey, you want to kill them. And the moment the play is over, the whistle blows, you go to your opponent, you help him up, and you pat him on the back, and you good play. So you have to be able to switch your aggressiveness on and off. But then again, that goes for every position again. Yeah, everybody needs to be aggressive on the field with an on and off switch. So be sportsmanlike, sportswomanlike, but work with that. But for a linebacker, especially, linebackers have to look it up every time. You have to go in there. You have to go into the bunch where all those line women are already fighting with each other. You have to dive in between because that's where the running back is going. So you have to go in there too.
Yep.
Just be able to just turn off your common sense and do your thing. That's a linebacker. And still think. Use your brain, use your mind, be smarter than everybody else in the offense. And talking as a defensive guy all my life, it's not that hard to be smarter than the offense. It's offense. So
because basically with the offense, you have to worry more about your guys in front protecting the quarterback, trying to make passes to the receivers and everything, and that's a whole different ball game. And that's why I find it important to introduce to y'all also the defensive line, because that is basically the game changer. Because on defense, all you have to worry about is narrowing down the play area. So you're spread out more. You have two people in coverage, three in the end zone, or however you want to set the formation up, and you want to make it that much harder for the offense to be able to score. So of course, those are things that come into play.
Yeah, and of course, to put it very basically, flatline everything here, it's like offense is the easier job because you get your plays, the coaches will write down the plays for you, you get them on a piece of paper, and you just learn your job. It's written down on paper, and you do exactly what's on the paper. Yeah, if the paper says block the linebacker, you're going to look up the linebacker and you're going to block that linebacker. If it says run 5 yards to the front and then 10 yards to the right, that's what you do. You don't have to think about that. It's very easy, very basic, to the point. On defense, on the other hand, you also get a playbook, but that will only give you the first snap reaction. After that, it's reacting on the offense. So you have to think on your own, react on your own. Everything is off the table once the ball is snapped, because offense is always doing something you're not expecting. At least if they are doing their jobs. And if they would do what you're expecting, that means you're a hell of a good linebacker or a hell of a good defensive player, or you have a hell of a good defensive coordinator on the sideline. But usually they will surprise you because that's how they score. And our job as a defensive player is to stop the scoring. And that means you have to be quick on your feet, quick thinking, quick in reaction, but quicker thinking. And on offense, you have a little more time to think because the playbook is the lead.
Yeah.
All right, pretty much we got one position left on defense, and that's the defensive back. And the defensive back is like the mirror guy for the receiver. So it needs to be pretty much the same type of person playing defensive back. Usually the defensive back is the receiver that's not able to catch a ball. So we put them on defense. You cannot catch a ball, go play defense. Then again, if you can catch a ball, even better, because then you can make the interceptions, and the interceptions score points. So we prefer also our defensive players to be able to catch a ball. Everybody should be able to catch a ball.
Yeah,
And
it just needs to be, you know, like where everyone is able to do that, just in case you need to switch some people out, or if you
Also-
know that this one player may be a little bit faster, or she can catch the ball, or she may not be able to catch it so well, then you need to have people, you know, just as an extra to in those positions, just in case, or if you have like a special type of situation that you can, you know, put them in for that time being and do it like that.
yeah, and that's again, what kind of position and what kind of person are we looking for in a defensive back? Doesn't really matter again. If you're short and you're up against a tall receiver, then he will be able to reach above you, catch the ball. But if you're short, you will be able to hit her even harder in the lower regions on her knees or her hips, and she will get hit harder. So, and if she's short and you're tall, it's easier for you to catch the ball. It's all pros and cons and not really important. As long as you're having a good coverage on a person, you're doing your job as a defensive back. So most important, you need to be fast because you never know who you're up against. As a fast receiver, as a fast defensive back, you can adjust. You can always go slower. If you're a slow defensive back, you cannot go faster. So fast is the best. But again, we're going to work with what you girls want. We're going to try to put you in a position that you are going to pick, that you want, and we're going to try to work with that. And if we really think like, that's really what I had in mind for you, then we'll talk with you. And then again, still, we'll try to listen to what you want. And then in the end, we will have the final say, but we try to listen to you. And we're going to work with you. And we're not going to say no from the start. We're going to try you out then first. And
Opportunity.
Opportunity, exactly. And if you rise to the occasion, hey, excellent. All the better. But I think now we went over it, and hopefully after my explanation and Patrick's explanation, that you will have an idea of the positions and where do you think you can fit in. Watch some NFL television, watch some college.
College ball is really good too.
Yeah, exactly. College ball has more to do with the rules that we play in than NFL.
Because NFL does have quite a difference in rules and regulations, and like Coach said, you know, college ball is a great thing to look at too, because you have a lot of teams. You basically see how people, you know, get from college level to pros, and
usually it's easy. It's even harder and better because in NFL they already have their contract and they don't want to have anything to do with them. In college, they still have to prove themselves. They're fighting to get that contract. So very often it's harder, it's tougher, it's mean. Kim, I saw your hand there. Go ahead.
Where can we watch the college football? Is there some way to watch? Because we got a link for the NFL games, but is there some way to watch the college games?
I can look it up for you.
You can even find some stuff on YouTube if you just type in, like, you know, on YouTube, like college American football. Let's say like from LSU or Texas Tech or something like that. You have a bunch of different colleges, whether it's a junior college or yes, Annabella.
I have a good app for that where you can watch it, like stream it. It's every Saturday.
Can you send us the link?
Yeah, it's an app. I'll send it. Then you can watch it on YouTube.
You know, I can hear you, right?
Yeah, but the rest also has to hear me.
Yeah, no.
So what the?
No, that's excellent. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't get that hand away, Kim. So next time you have a question, just raise it. I'll see it. I think you may have to remove it. I don't know.
just had it put it down. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. That's pretty much it for positions again. Like I said, try to watch college. Try to watch NFL. Whatever. Look at the positions you have in your mind. You now pretty much have an idea where you have to be looking. And you can always talk to us about your position. If you have any doubts, contact us and we'll discuss it with you. Any questions? No
Come on,
questions?
ladies, don't be scared. Ask questions.
Make something up. Come on. No? All right, that's good. I'm thinking we can talk football all night, but maybe for these sessions it's better to it's almost an hour we're talking now, to keep our sessions. You're pointing, Kim?
Bella raised her hand.
Who?
Bella.
Ik.
Where?
If because I see the teams are 11-11, but we're going to do 7, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how is the definition then?
Is
How do you
What?
mean you mean the positions?
Yeah, the positions. Yeah.
The positions are pretty much the ones I explained.
Yeah.
Are the positions you guys will be playing. So a quarterback,
Center.
an offensive line, that's the center, and 2 guards, CQ tackles. So a 3-women offensive line, and a running back, or maybe 2 running backs, and then the receivers. So that's a quarterback, 3-line, a running back, and then you have 2 receivers, or you have 3 receivers and no running back, or 1 receiver and 2 running backs. That's what we can play with, but that's basically the thing on offense. And on defense, it's probably what I have in my mind. I'm still working on that all, but on defense, it's probably gonna be 2 linemen, 2 linebackers, and 3 defensive backs. And the linebackers will be, one of them will be an 8 to the defensive line. So it's a 3 defensive line position actually then. And one of the linebackers will be more of a defensive back, but they're both switching up to not give anything away to an offense. So the linebackers has to be multifunctional. They have to be able to play defensive back coverage, but also be able to work on the line. So that's basically what we got in mind for 7-on-7.
Okay, and another question.
Yeah.
Are we going to play just offense, just defense, or do we need to like
Yeah, you need to be able to play both, because especially like with the number of ladies that we have now, especially with taking into consideration with the other teams also, it'll mainly be 7 versus 7. So you need to be able to play defense as well as offense, and that's why later on we'll be looking at who fits best, and of course on what you decide in your positions, what's going to be good for defense and offense play, as well as extras or backups. So
Yeah, if we can get a team of 20, 24 players, then you'll only be playing one position, and you'll
Yeah,
either be playing offense or defense, whatever you want. But like Coach Patrick said, we don't have that right now. If everybody's going to be there, we have 17 ladies, and so that would be 7 and 7, and a few reserves. But it's a full contact game. So if you get injured, you're on the bench and someone still has to fill in your position. So everybody should be able to play at least 2 positions, either an offensive position and a defensive position. That's why I put it in the app for you girls on the Player Plus. There's the poll I put there. Put 3 choices there: an offensive position, a defensive position, and then a third position that you would also consider playing. If you don't have that one, that's fine. Just put 1 offense, 1 defense, but at least 2 positions, offense and defense.
And also take note, let's say that later on that even more women join the team, then it'd also be good to consider still having a second option as, you know, which position you would also want to play, because it's always good to have, you know, extra slots open for if you say, okay, you know, I like playing wide receiver, but I would also like to be a defensive back because, you know, I like to just run and tackle folks, you know, so that's all also good to take into consideration. You know, not just because it's 7-on-7, but even if we were to expand, then you also want to have that availability just in case.
Yeah, and if we grow, we get more ladies in the team. It would be also excellent to get a competition going. Like if there's like 5 ladies that want to be a running back, excellent. There's going to be competition. Then we're probably going to be using 2. So 3 of them has to go for another position. You're going to have to fight it out. You know, you have to train, you have to work out. And the ones that excel will be the running backs then. And the 3 that don't excel, we will find another position for them. So it is competition. It is, you're going to have to train, you're going to have to work hard. And we won't only be, we're not there yet. We don't have a team like that yet, but hopefully we will get there in the future. And then I will reassure you, we will not only look at your skill ability, it's also what your mindset. Like if you're always there and you're working your ass off and you're not that good as the woman that's hardly ever there and just does it with 1 finger up her arse, and then you will get the position, not the one that's slacking on the side, but is better because she's got a little more talent. We're not here to earn big money. We're here to have fun. So if you work hard for it, you will get the rewards for it.
Oh, yeah. Just got to put the work in, you know, just bust your behind. And everything, you know, in the sport is going to be hard. So that's even taken into consideration the conditioning, the drills, the uncomfortable stances. You know, these are all things that are going to lead up to the plays and everything. You know, the driving block and everything that makes up the drive block. You know, that's where everything else within football is going to stem from. So, you know, once we get all the fundamentals and the basics learned, then it's going to be that much more easier to be versatile in the sport. And I think y'all have a lot of potential. Y'all have already shown it, and we're just counting on you to make the final decision on which positions y'all are interested in. Just give us some feedback, give some thought on it, and you know, whenever we get around to that point, then we'll sit down, we'll have that talk, and go from there.
Yeah. Now my plan is, you girls think about what we talked about tonight. And then we're gonna do this one again. I don't have to send you any invitations. I just put it in Players app, and then next week we're gonna do it again. And you just press vergadering, and then we're gonna do this again. And my plan is then, don't laugh at me like this, Jesus, come on.
Laughing behind.
Oh, there's no respect here, Patrick. There's no respect here. All right. My plan is then to talk about the rules. I think you have a lot of rules.
Yeah.
Do understand that American football has a rule book that's about this size. It's like, I don't know all the rules.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's a lot.
Crazy.
And
so,
especially.
Yeah, just go on Google on YouTube, watch some games, watch some excerpts of games. You can even type into YouTube fouls they made, flags. If you just put in flags, American football, then you see all the what's the word? Overtredingen. And you can look at that. And if stuff you don't understand, we're going to talk about that next week. But I'm going to expect you girls to come with questions. Because if I have to, or Patrick has to start talking about the rules, it's impossible to just start off with that because there's too many. Just think of just the simple ones. If you're going to watch Monday Night Football on Fox, or if you're going to watch the BBC, that's Tuesday night. BBC has a good show, the NFL show on Tuesday night. You can tape it, you record it. It's an hour. They show a lot of the what do you call it? This year's competition, NFL.
Yeah.
Just watch it, and then if you see stuff happening there, write it down if you don't get it and ask us questions. Or if there's already things going in your mind, can I do this? Can I do that? Because I'm sure stuff happened on practices that we told you, like, you don't have to do that or you cannot do that. And probably in your mind, it's like, why? Why did he say that? Why can I not do that? Why this? Why that? Why can I not kick someone? You know, it's called football. I should be able to kick him. I got my feet there. So, no. Yeah, and we'll explain next week why. So, think of questions, and I think then for tonight we're going to just leave it at this, unless there's any questions already for you. Not about rules, about positions. And then, to be honest, I'm not really a theory coach. So give me topics, I can research, and I can work with that. Maybe the same for Patrick. I don't know.
Yeah, same thing for me. I'm new to this too.
Yeah, but I'm a hands-on coach. You know, I can teach you on the field. While we're working on the drills and on the skills, but to talk about it, it's hard for me. To my surprise, I managed for an hour already. So, but I'm pretty much finished here now. Thank you. So I want to leave it at that. I also didn't have any coffee for an hour, so.
Yeah. There is this one book that I look through sometimes. You have a bunch of these in the States. I thought it's a For Dummies series. So you have like football for dummies, and it's basic. I mean, you have the For Everything, cooking for dummies, but okay, football for dummies, and it just gives you the basic lay down, what the positions are, what some of the basic rules are, whether it's for 7-on-7, 11 versus 11 and everything. So it just gives you a basic rundown of everything, just to sort of, plant that idea into your head. And maybe just check it out. You don't have to buy it. I'm pretty sure you can just find it on the internet and stuff. Yeah, pages where it just has like excerpts from the book itself. So
I think that's it. Any questions? No questions? Is there?
yeah, who's over there?
Hey, Lavina.
Davina?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, I put the camera on. My question is, I already heard we can read a book. Is it possible that we can loan it by the library or something?
I
I
doubt it because it's
doubt it.
American football and American football
Yes.
in Holland. You can try, but
Yes.
I don't know if they have it.
Okay.
If you just look on Google, it's like it's a yellow book. They're always yellow books.
Okay.
Usually you can easily find a lot of stuff on the, text
Internet.
from it and stuff. So
Okay. I can easily make how you can call it, a book by myself with all the information from the internet.
Probably.
I can try to find what I was looking at earlier, and then I'll send you the link. And
Yes.
would like that.
Okay. Then I'll write it down. Link. I already write everything down. There probably are some questions about the positions. But I think I had it all. But next week we only do this for once in a week, this conversation. Okay, and our homework is to study the rules.
Look them over, come up with questions. If we log in next week and no one has any questions, we're done pretty soon.
Yes.
And on top of that, get some workouts and work on your stances.
I'm gonna put a link to a YouTube video of a personal trainer.
Yes.
I looked it over. It's pretty good. He gives a drill session for a whole week.
Okay.
So you can do workouts. Some of the drills are crazy, like doing push-ups from a handstand for your shoulder. It's like
I can't even do that.
I wouldn't be able to do that. So, but just take from it what's good for you and try to do as much as possible. And if you do those sessions, you'll have a hell of a good workout. And in 4 weeks, you'll be superwoman if you practice.
And work on those duck walks too. So work on those, because that's something, it's very basic, but that's something I do want to try to implement into the training, because that's going to be very important later on. With the drive blocks and stuff. So
exactly, it will help you in a lot of football position stance, a lot of blocking, a lot of tackling, if you're able to walk like that low.
Okay.
And it's good for your leg power, leg muscles. So I'll put on later tonight. I will put the link for the workout video. See what you can do with it. It's not homework like you have to do it and we're going to test you in 4 weeks when we get on the field. It's up to you. It's like, put in your effort. Yeah, Kim, I think you probably will do them all. I see Kim doing the push-up handstand.
Yes.
All right.
What about me? What about me?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, but I have no doubt about you, Annabelle. I got no doubts about any one of you, by the way. I think you can all do it, but don't worry about it. Just have fun, enjoy the early winter stop, and I'll be seeing all of you next week on this channel. And don't hesitate to contact us sooner. Like you can always app and call us if you have any questions sooner. You don't have to wait until next week, except when it's about rules. All right, rules only next week. Clear? All right. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you very much for your attention. Enjoy the week, and I'll see you next week. I'm going to try. I've been recording this, so I'm going to try to put the link in the app. Did anyone else record it? I think you did, Annabelle.
Yeah. It'll upload it right away on here on this Teams.
Yeah. If you manage to put it on the app, you probably do it faster than me. So, and then we'll see it appear on the team app.
All right.
All right, girls. I say good night.
All
Good
right.
night.
Good night, ladies.
Bye. Good night.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.